Hello everybody, it's Adam here at A Strings, and today we are looking at HSS guitars. Now, a HSS guitar is a guitar that has humbucker, single and single, so that's the pickups. We're talking about pickups. Humbucker, single, single. Most of you on here, if you're here, you know that already, but if you don't, there we go. So a humbucker generally will give us more output. We'll have a bigger, thicker kind of sound, more inclined to things like rock, blues, something that needs a bit more grunt. Single coils are, as you'd expect, something that's traditionally in something like a Stratocaster or a Telecaster. Those are less output, but will do things, your cleans, your funks. We'll still do the rock stuff. I mean, look at Hendrix, you know, that kind of thing. So we'll still do that kind of thing. The one thing that we see the most of is probably HSS guitars recommended by teachers for their students as a first or maybe like a first nice electric guitar. And it's for that versatility. It's for the versatility of being able to go rock and blues with a humbucker, but also being able to clean up and do nicer clean stuff and like the funks and that kind of thing. So it's giving us probably the most versatility in one instrument. Obviously, we've got other options we can talk about, HSH and all different wiring options. But for now, we're going to stick with that, okay? Because that's what this video is, and we're not going to wander off. We're going to stick. Stay focused, please. The guitars that we've chosen for today to have a little look at are the Player Series HSS with a Floyd Rose Stratocaster from Fender, the Charvel Pro-Mod, again HSS Floyd Rose. You can see where the pattern's going, right? From Charvel. And this one from Jackson is a Pro Plus. It's an SLA 3Q. You guessed it, HSS FR. Now, for those of you that might not be aware, all three of these guitars are owned, or they're in the family of Fender. Fender have owned Jackson and Charvel for, it's over 20 years now. They've also got Gretsch license and they've got EVH, which is why we've decided to go for the 5150 Iconic combo to give you some sounds, and also it lends itself to some really cool kind of heavier sounds and cleaner stuff. So we're completely in the Fender umbrella. We're under the parasol today in November of 23. What we've got to talk about really is the differences between each guitar, because for someone who might not be well versed in specs, or maybe not interested in specs particularly, there are differences. Sound-wise, again, we're going to find differences, but as we always say, pickups can be changed, pickups can be swapped, you can make differences there tonally. That being said, we should talk about the specs and maybe what kind of each guitar lends itself to. It might help you, give you an idea of what a HSS guitar is all about. Maybe if you were looking down the line of a versatile instrument, this might give you some ideas of what to look for if you are looking. So starting off, we have the Player Series Stratocaster HSS with our Floyd Rose. Each of these companies do a HSS with a standard trem. Now, we decided that because we're going for what you might call a hot-rodded guitar, we wanted to go all out. So we decided we'll pick three with Floyd Roses. And they're not necessarily guitars that are in similar price points. This one is a little bit cheaper than this one, which is a little bit cheaper than this one. And we're not comparing and contrasting these guitars against each other. That's not what this video is about. It's to give you kind of an idea of 3 different brands doing similar things, if that makes sense. And also, all owned by the same company. The only real difference with this guitar as opposed to what you'd find on a HSS Player Stratocaster standard, really, apart from the Floyd Rose, obviously, is our radius. So the radius has to accommodate the Floyd Rose. So with this one, we've got a 12-inch radius. Now again, a lot of you are going to know what I'm talking about, so apologies, but this is for people that might not be aware. So the radius is actually the curve of our fretboard at the front. So our profile, neck profile, is what we're sort of holding in our hand at the back. Our radius is what's at the front. Now, you'll see it when you're looking at specs of different instruments, and we'll get into it with these two as well. But a 12-inch radius, basically the higher the number, essentially, the flatter the curve, because obviously the radius is going from a smaller radius, like a vintage 7.25, and we're going to kind of, as the circle gets bigger, and the radius gets larger, as the circle gets bigger, the curve gets less. So with this one, because we've got to accommodate essentially a very flat trem system, the radius has to be, again, very, very flat. It also helps for faster playing. That's not necessarily a rule, because you'll have super shreddy players that will be able to play on 9.5 radiuses and even 7.25 radiuses, which again are more curved and more curved again. Neck feel wise, we're very much in the, we're in a modern C territory. It's very, very comfy. The back of the neck is a Strat. You pick up a sort of modern Strat, as in a player, or maybe like an American Pro or something. This is the feel that you would get. Aside from that, we've got our typical Strat layout. We've got volume, 2 tones, our 5-way selector switch. We've got the Player Series Alnico pickups in here. Alnico 5s, I believe. Tom can correct me in the subs if I'm wrong, but I think they are. And that's pretty much it. The heel is the same as what you get. So the body-wise, apart from the routing for the Floyd, is exactly the same as Player Series Strat. It's nice, it's comfortable, I enjoy playing it. It takes me a minute to get used to the flatter boards. Once you're there and you're in, it's really, really nice. For those of you that want to do maybe with the Floyd especially, with like the harder rock stuff, I think of players like Richie Sambora. I always think of Dave Murray, but obviously we're looking at we have the hot rails rather than a humbucker. But again, it's the Strat with the Floyd kind of thing. If you wanted to go down those routes, I think that this is a really nice option, especially the price point of these. It's a great sort of modded Strat, for the price. Talking about modded Strats and modded instruments, we should have a little look at guitar number 2, which is the Charvel. Next up, we are looking at the Charvel. Now, the Charvel visually is the most similar to our Fender Strat. We've got the Fender style headstock, and we're pretty much on it with the body. Now, they do a few different body shapes. Some are more curved, a la the Strat. This one is a little bit more of a block feeling body, but super thin contoured body. The heel of the neck is super contoured as well, and we've also got a really cool input jack sort of contour there as well. So Charvel, originally born from Fender in the 70s. Wayne Charvel was an employee at Fender before branching out to do his own work, and I believe the Charvel started off doing repairs and modifications for out of warranty Fender instruments, and you can only imagine that from there the modifications, his reputation grew to be the place to go for modding Strat. It was only fitting that this had to be part of it. And It's nice now that it is in with the Fender umbrella. You know, it's nice that it's all part of the same home, if that makes any sense. Oh, I'm getting sentimental. So, specs on this one. Now, we talked about radius. Now we're going to talk about compound radius. So, compound radius means that our radius changes across the neck. This one, as well as the Jackson, is a 12 to 14 inch radius, compound radius. We're starting at 12 at the bottom, and the further we get up, we flatten and flatten to the point where we're 14. So all that's happening is that curve, the very, very gradual curve is getting ever so slightly flatter as we get to the top. This is definitely for shreddy players, for the faster players. Aesthetically, the Charvels are definitely more of a mainstream look, if that makes sense. There are models that are out there, but visually we are looking at something that's inoffensive. I'm saying this because we go on to the Jacksons where we've got spiky things and shark fins and all that kind of thing. So in comparison, the Charvel really is the wolf in sheep's clothing, whereas the Jackson is a wolf dressed as a wolf, going out as a wolf, saying, "Hello, I'm a wolf." Does that make sense? I think myself, visually, it would be something like a Charvel. I think I would rather the appointments and the contours and the performance of these styles of guitars, but I would want it to look in this vein. I wouldn't, just for my own personal taste, I wouldn't go that way. But again, I'm not you, you're not me, blah, blah, blah. Everyone is different, so you might hate this and love that Jackson. So, and that's fine. That's fine. You do you, babe. We should mention pickups also. So the Jackson and the Charvel are both loaded with Seymour Duncans all the way through. That is the only real difference. But again, we're not comparing guitar versus guitar. It's not that kind of video. It's more of just giving you an idea of what is out there and in and under the Fender umbrella. So that's something to think about, is that you do get Seymour Duncans in most Charvels. Jacksons do vary. You've got a lot of different series in the Jacksons. So, for example, you could get something like a DK3XR, which is a bolt-on construction, very similar to the Charvel. HSS, Floyd Rose, again, we're ticking all those boxes, but we have Jackson proprietary pickups rather than a Seymour Duncan. And there'll be little things that you'll notice between series, because a lot of the times you'll think, well, that guitar looks exactly like that guitar. Why is this one £300 more than this one? And it'll be little things like that. It'll be the pickup choices. You might have through neck construction as opposed to bolt on. So you'll see that on some soloists where the guitar goes straight through. And in fact, I will show you on the next Jackson. Next up is the Jackson. Like I said, it is a wolf in wolf's clothing. There is no apologies with this one. It's a very, very pretty guitar. Obviously, they do ones that are a lot meaner and aggressive in looks. We chose this one because it is very, very pretty. We think it's actually, you know, the back is as cool as the front. So yeah, super, super cool. This is part of the Pro Plus series. Spec-wise on this one, Neck-wise, a slimmer neck again than the Charvel. The Charvel sits right in between these, and we may have a case of Goldilocks syndrome here, where the Charvel might just be that kind of nice thing, at least for me. A lot thinner. Again, same radius, 12 to 14, so very, very flat radius on there again. It's quite nice. We've actually got the mini shark fins on here, which some of the Jacksons have the big shark fins, which again, it's just aesthetic. That's all it is. Seymour Duncans as well, again. We've got the same single coil pickups in these as we do in the Charvel. The humbucker is different. Body-wise, a very, very, very slim body. I don't know if you can make that out with the camera there. Super slim body. And it's the through neck. So as I mentioned earlier, this one is right the way through. So our contour is nice and sort of curved here, runs straight into the body. So access-wise, you know, it's super, super easy. I mean, your hand literally fits there. The Charvel is similar, but where you've got the bolt on, you've got that kind of bit of a thing there. You can feel the heel. So you know, this is kind of ergonomically perfect. Yeah. So, summing up, like we said, this isn't a comparison. This isn't a versus in that sense. We're not shooting these guitars out against each other because they all do their own thing very, very well. And I think that's the point. That's a very politician thing, isn't it? That is the point I am trying to make to you. The point is, they all do their thing very, very well. It is a question of what is out there, what exists, and what's the story behind some of these guitars? Why would I choose this one over this one? And these are questions that happen in the shop. You know, someone who is maybe looking for something, they've been recommended by their teacher or a friend, a HSS, oh, you should get something with a humbucker in the bridge. That's the question that comes up to us. It's like, well, especially something that is a bit more, you know, Strat shaped. Why should I buy that one? What's the difference between that and that, really? Because that looks the same and that looks the same, and the headstock's the same. Why, you know, what's the difference? What am I picking? And that's kind of what we're trying to do in this video, is kind of highlight similarities and differences, and hopefully this video has a point, and it is up to you to find that point. If not, you can just comment and say, that's a lovely jumper, and I'll say, thank you very much. So overall, my opinion, my name is Adam and this is my opinion. If I was going to pick one, I would want the performance and the looks of the Charvel. So yeah, for me, it's the Charvel. I think they provide the nicest neck. It's the one thing that Charvel players, it's the one thing that converts the most people to Charvel, is the necks. If you get one with a roasted maple neck, they are to die for. They are amazingly built guitars. That's for me. I enjoy playing all three of these instruments. I think that this is absolutely gorgeous. And I think, bang for buck, that sounds incredible. All of them have been sturdy once a Floyd Rose is set up, as most of you know. Once a Floyd Rose is set up, you're laughing. You kind of, you can just destroy it, and it'll keep playing and being in tune. But all three beautiful instruments. Now we want to know, one, what's your favorite of these three? Again, it's not a competition. What's your preference? What's your HSS preference? What's your modded, hot rodded preference? And if you own one, let us know. If you don't own one, we've got a great idea. Come to us, A-Strings. We are astrings.co.uk. We are a music shop in South Wales in the UK. And we have lots and lots of great guitars like these on our walls, in our stockrooms, ready for you to try. They're here, that you can shred out in person. Come and teach me how to sweep pick. Because I still can't do it. It's like, I can't do it. Join us on our social medias. We have Facebook, that is A Strings Guitar Specialists. We are Instagram, at A Strings UK. TikTok is the same. Can you believe we're on TikTok? At A Strings UK. Crazy. Find us, come and say hello, and come and join the community. If you like the video, you know what to do. Same thing everyone asks you to do. Bap, 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 all those buttons. It would mean the world. If you are a new subscriber, thank you so much for jumping on board. Check out the Fenders. It's the Player Series HSS Floyd Rose. Charvels, this is the Pro-Mod HSS Floyd Rose in Infinity Blue. Beautiful, with an ebony fingerboard. Oh, gorgeous. And this is the Pro Plus Series Jackson SLA Q3. I think. Absolutely to die for, and I can't remember the name. I think it's Amber Blueburst. Quilt Top Amber Blueburst. Tom is nodding, so I think that's correct. They're all on the website, astrings.co.uk. Find us, come say hello. I have been Adam. Thank you so much for watching. Tom's behind the camera. We'll see you very, very soon in the next video. Bye-bye.